Today we meet our final triple elemental, who went through quite a lot of design ideas before I was happy with its final artwork. Let me explain my thought process for this prompt of shallow. The word has two meanings. Either it's referring to the physical shape of something, like a dish that holds a thin layer of water, or a mental characteristic. In the context of personality, shallow means overly concerned with outward appearances, often letting superficial features affect their reaction and opinions. I wanted to take that option, because I had a fun idea with this guy's concept. This monster's elements are fright, dark, and slime. Instead of the fright element manifesting itself as a spooky design, this monster actually displays fright and hides all day from other monsters. Although many of the Fright Islanders are kind in nature, this monster is quite shallow and is only concerned on how scary they look. My first design explored the idea of a monster based on a conch, which is like a big sea snail. I eventually refined the design into a bodybuilding gastropod with some swole arms. I wanted it to be obsessed with lifting, and so I gave it the name Strong, which made me laugh for like 5 minutes. However, when coming back to this design a while later, I thought it was way too similar to the Peeper Jack, and I scrapped the idea. I also thought that I lost the implementation of its shallow personality. Also, I figured out that it's actually called the conch, not the conch. It comes from the Latin word concha, which means shell, but I digress. Then I made another insectoid monster that wove itself a protective basket out of silk. It holds a dream catcher above its head to ward off the spooky monsters surrounding it. I quickly threw that one out as well, because it just wasn't working for me. Instead, I made a crustacean-looking monster that hides under a rock as camouflage. I made it asymmetrical to generate some visual interest. Its sound would be a choir or an echoey voice, as the stony shell provides great acoustics to its singing. Like my initial philosophy, it's terrified of strangers and prefers to hide all day. Painfully relatable. This is the stalagmite, which has the same naming conventions as the clavinet. Rather than manifesting the element of fright in its outward appearance, the stalagmite instead is fearful of pretty much anything that moves on Fright Island. Choosing to conceal itself day in and day out in a shell sourced from local materials, the introverted monster lacks the companionship abundantly found in the monster world. It keeps itself comforted by crooning a melancholy melody that carries the weight of years of isolation and sadness.